I'm Russell Beard, and on this Earthrise special I've come to Mato Grosso in Brazil to meet a renegade cattle rancher who's determined to turn the Amazon's #1 enemy into its greatest ally.
This is not really a good place to raise a family. I was always nervous about even leaving my family at the ranch by themselves. We'd been here for a year, and we'd seen all this crazy stuff going around us. Bandits and outlaws and land invasions and massive deforestation and fires all across the landscape for months at a time. To sit there and watch all that happening was like witnessing an environmental holocaust. And I told Kika that we either had to try to do something or leave. People have to get over the fact that the Amazon's not an international park. It belongs to Brazil and all the other countries in the basin. And the fact is that they are going to develop their country, and they will develop their interior. And we have to give them a development model that is sustainable, and that's what we're doing.
Agriculture in Brazil is booming, with beef exports alone generating nearly $6 billion a year, while soy production is poised to surpass that of the United States and become the largest in the world. But these economic successes are eating away at the rainforest, resulting in massive CO2 emissions and loss of biodiversity, especially along the Amazon's southeastern frontier, where farmland is worth up to 10 times more than forested land.
And so you're thinking about the demand for world food, and it's coming from beef and soybeans in the Amazon basin. That supply chain is dirty, and there's no way to differentiate who is who. And so what we're trying to do is bring in, one by one, good people, then we try to support them to grow. And we tried to say, market, respond to us, open your doors to us, and we'll slowly close those other guys out.
In 1996, after retiring from an elite infantry unit of the US Army and completing a ranch management course, John Carter flew his light aircraft 8,000 kilometers from Texas to the Amazon state of Mato Grosso to take over his father-in-law's ranch.
So all that was a carpenter forest when I moved here, and I saw this get opened up and deforested, chainsaws, dozers, but mainly fire.
Mato Grosso is at the heart of Brazil's cattle and soy industries and has seen 136,000 square kilometers of forest cleared in the past 25 years, more than any other Brazilian state.
I mean, this is an incredibly privileged position to be up here and be able to see it all. Do you think the people understand the extent of the damage here?
No. I have no idea because I never had this perspective.
Yeah.
Mato Grosso is part of a farming frontier known as the Arc of Deforestation. The transformation of forest to farmland begins after loggers remove the most valuable trees. The remaining forest is then burned down to make way for cattle ranching. Finally, when profits from livestock are ploughed into soil improvement, land is at its most fertile and valuable, allowing arable farmers to grow cash crops such as soybean.
See how flat it is?
Yeah.
So flat ground cannot withstand the pressure of a frontier.
Yeah. Especially, and with this much sun.
In a perfect season. So the rains go from October to April, and then they stop like a light switch. So it's like automatic irrigation. Wow. For free.
In 2004, John founded the not-for-profit organization Aliança da Terra, or Earth Alliance, working with farmers to minimize the negative impacts of agriculture on the Amazon ecosystem. John's vision is to create a nationwide alliance of ecologically responsible farmers, and today his team of environmental analysts are here to audit the property of a new recruit.
Russell. So we're not the law. Nor are we an environmental group who's coming here to beat on them.
What do you hope to get from this visit, from today, and perhaps subsequent visits?
Olha, que eles nos indiquem realmente aquilo que a gente necessita fazer na propriedade, né? E nos auxiliem nesse intuito da gente estar fazendo sempre bem feito.
The team comprehensively assesses Sydney's 2,500-acre farm against a series of criteria, including soil erosion, fire deterrence, and native forest cover. So this isn't a termite mound, this is man-made?
Yes, man-made to stop the erosion from going down into the water.
Riverside forests, known as riparian zones, are particularly important to maintain if the farms and the surrounding ecosystem are to stay healthy.
You got to think of it like a big water tank. And the rainfall in the rainy season fills up this water tank. And if you have all this organic matter in the trees, it maintains it and releases it slowly during the dry season. These trees are also now pumping up all this moisture into the atmosphere and keeping the humidity higher than it would be otherwise.
You can see the roots there, that's good. And these roots serves to control the erosion. Tapir was here to drink water.
They have tapir, which means they have jaguar, ocelot. All the big mammals in the Amazon are here.
And where would a jaguar be, say, at this time of day, you know, in this environment?
Right here. Yeah, on the limb, overhanging the water, cooling off. They start to hunt at 6 o'clock, 6:30.
These forested waterways provide a very important ecological service, acting as wildlife corridors, which connect remaining patches of forest, allowing animals to travel in between them.
Putting band-aids back on the landscape and connecting stuff back up again.
So far, Sydney's doing well, but signing up for an Alianza X-ray means that farmers also have to show where their properties have room for improvement.
When you need to mark a point like this one, it's erosion. So with this, we lost a lot of organic matter, soil, and the nutrients of this area go directly to the river. We don't have the buffer zone to protect the river.
By using state-of-the-art kit, they record images with precise times and locations, which are stored on a database at Alianza's headquarters for future reference. After the survey's done, the farmer agrees on a plan of action, and if he fails to make the improvements, he gets kicked out of the club.
So we ask him to sign a letter, which is a handshake. It's an honor system, it's based on trust. So you always feel an energy when this happens, because you know you're growing a positive force.
Alianza now has over 500 farms and 30,000 square kilometers of land in its scheme, half of which is being preserved as forest. And members have invested nearly $10 million in environmental and social improvements on their properties. So you think that he'd be an asset to have on your books?
Gosh, he's a huge asset. He's obeying all the laws to the best of his extent. And most importantly, he's not afraid to show or to admit to the problems he's got also. The frontier is a dynamic place with many different variables, many types of settlers. To me, the most important people in the landscape are the small people because they don't have the capital to produce and intensify, and they're forced to keep on expanding and expanding to try to stay afloat.
As well as telling farmers what needs fixing on their property, the Alianza network offers technical assistance to help farmers increase productivity so they can make a living without clearing forest.
E falta de orientação a esse produtor. O desafio é exatamente esse, de conseguir recursos, né? E que até as leis exigem, né? Principalmente nessa questão ambiental.
Today, Alianza are helping a group of smallholders improve their yield and return on a modest-sized cattle operation. Hi there. Hi, Russell. Nice to meet you. That's quite a glove. I think I know what you're planning here. By importing top-of-the-line genetics from Sao Paulo, this program of artificial insemination should help the farmers rear better quality cattle that they can sell for a higher price.
We're helping this entire region develop the facilities they need in order to achieve this level of management. So they have to make money in order to focus on conservation, otherwise it won't happen. You're gonna come over here and grab her tail.
In here?
Yeah. You got her tail like that? Every time they come in the corral, they know something's going to happen. It's like going to the dentist. Well, you see them coming, then you do it. You get a rhythm down.
I'm going to get the rhythm down. All right.
This is the way that Brazil can double its production without having to tear down any more forest, to be honest with you. So in the United States, they have 80 million head. Here they have 210 million roughly. And the U.S. produces twice the beef than Brazil because it's pretty much standard procedure in any cattle operation to do something like this. Brazil's catching up at an exponential rate, and within a few years, they could double their beef production on the same ground that they've got.
But even with these added efficiencies, by leaving forests standing on what could be productive farmland, economically speaking, farmers are taking a hit.
Brazil has got one hand tied behind its back. And when the world market and the other players and producers worldwide don't have the same restrictions on them, that's forcing the Brazilian producer to have to produce more on less ground in order to compensate and to be able to keep the natural native vegetation standing.
Economically, it's not good. not good, because we have the part of the land that we cannot produce, good part of the land.
Their part of the bargain is to produce well and to practice good natural resource management. And our part is to consolidate this into a seal that we can tell the consumer that he's our partner.
To create an incentive for conservation, Alianza is developing a consumer logo or seal under which its members will be able to sell their produce, giving them recognition for their environmental work and a higher price for their goods. The rain's come on.
Everyone talks about, quote, sustainability. How can I help? I'm just going to reduce my water usage. I'm not going to drive my car so much. Or am I going to eat food that I know back where it came from is sustaining huge ecosystems and biodiversity, and it struck a balance between conservation and production. And so if you have a seal, and they can go on the internet and Google Earth and see his ranch and that barcode on that beef, you eat it, you know where it came from, and you know you're also supporting reforestation of over 1,000 acres of land on this property.
On this property alone?
Yeah, we have, and in our whole system, we have over 4.2 million acres of forest standing that consumer will be maintaining, and it'll grow into the tens of millions. It's not being done anywhere else in the world, and it certainly is going to be the model for the future as we have a growing population, more demand for food, increasing demand on natural resources. We're idiots to think that this stuff is going to stand in 50 years if we don't have incentives coming in to keep it. We're going to stop here and unsaddle.
Oh. Is there a secret code to make them want to come?
They're just stubborn.
Stubborn? You are a mule, I suppose. John, what a view. This is absolutely beautiful, isn't it?
It is pretty.
It's glassy calm. But this isn't the Amazon we can see here, though, is it?
It's Amazon Basin. All this water drains into the Amazon River.
Oh,
all that over there was a prettier view. It was high forest. The fire burned all that down. This is just a small part of what's happening along the whole frontier. Fire today is by far the biggest enemy because the humidity is going down. These forests weren't flammable 20 years ago because it's just too humid.
Forest fires don't respect boundaries, and as the climate becomes drier, it's not just the ranchers who are at risk.
It's roughly 2.5 million hectare reservation that houses 14 to 15 indigenous groups.
I don't know how to quantify that, but I can't see the edges.
The Xingu Indigenous Park in northeastern Mato Grosso is protected from farming, but increasingly under threat from fire.
Growing, more people.
Johnny.
Hello. Mapalu's Kotoki's sister. Yeah, and my daughter Katarina got her name. It was rewarded her name.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've brought your family up here as well?
All the time, yeah.
All
this
the time?
Is a paradise, like an extended family. Yeah.
The Kamayura tribe has lived in harmony with nature for generations, but every time a fire sweeps through their forest, it means they have to trek further to reach the food sources and medicinal plants they rely on.
And behind us over there, you can see huge damage from the fire. It's all dead.
It's very sandy soil here. You give it a rub and that's it. This is the evidence of these fires that they're talking about. The whole place is just deep with ash.
É importante para nós, né? Isso que traz o ar, né? A saúde. Começar no olho. Você coloca isso aqui, ele pega, segura a bucha, limpa. Isso aqui limpa.
Have you tried any of
yeah,
these?
A lot of it, yeah.
And did it work?
Oh yeah, yeah, they cured my ulcer.
These medicinal plants all around, this is not just woodland for them, it's not just habitat for animals that they rely on to hunt. This is their pharmacy as well. When these fires come through here, it's a lot at stake.
Então, o valor da floresta, John, aqui, né? O valor para nós, para o futuro, muito mais.
To help combat the fire, John has drawn on his military background to build an elite wildland firefighting unit, assisted by the world-famous US smoke jumpers. In the run-up to fire season, they hold training courses for ranchers and indigenous people alike, spreading their firefighting skills across the frontier.
Nós vamos dividir aqui, como a gente falou ontem, Brigada A e Brigada B.
After 3 days of intense theory, the participants are about to test their knowledge against a mock fire. John, this stuff looks a bit more like farming equipment that you've got here.
Yeah, what you're seeing is wildland firefighting. You have urban firefighting with the big equipment and what have you, but you're going to remote regions that you don't have equipment. So the thing is, with tactics and training, you can still manage a fire with hand tools like this.
O fogo tá na alta, não temos tempo a perder. Ok? Vamos valendo.
Liderança, não tiver disciplina dentro da equipe, as coisas não funcionam bem como deveria acontecer.
The team leaders over there explain the fire situation to them, give them a briefing.
A nossa equipe vai agir à frente do fogo, com a distância de segurança. A nossa equipe vai estar fazendo um aceiro, limpando a área e colocando um contra-fogo no intuito de cercar o fogo.
The fire is about 100 meters away and coming to you. But what you're putting out is what he started. So he's starting to backfire, it's burning fuel out, and you're putting out the sparks on the ground behind that so it won't blow back over here.
Okay, I'm with you.
So
No?
there's, the South Conference.
Okay.
So you can go a little bit slower. He's going to be here all day long doing it.
Manter sempre isso no máximo, não pode levantar muito e bater com força.
Yeah. Uh-oh, everyone's watching me now. It's a little bit embarrassing.
Okay, pode.
So straight back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ok.
Yeah?
Ok. Fala pra ele porque se ele trabalhar 2 dias, 3 dias, ele não vai aguentar porque ele tá travando muito.
If you work 2 or 3 days like this, arms,
Is that
you
what I
can
look
work
like?
Yeah.
You got everyone looking at you. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that I've been shifted onto water duty.
This practical approach is attracting more people every year, and so far over 500 fledgling firefighters have graduated from the course. We're not running training sessions or dousing flames. Santos and his team are on the front line helping others who are fighting to protect Mato Grosso's environment, such as State Park Manager Elise Regina Cardoso.
Eu sou bióloga e eu quero preservar. Assim, eu tenho o sonho de ver esse parque organizado, dele ser parque de verdade.
After arresting a group of illegal fishermen, Elise has received death threats. She's now staying at John's ranch for safety and feels unable to go out on patrol without Alianza's fire crew and 2 local policemen as backup.
What would you be doing now if John and his team at Alianza were not here?
Nada, não tinha conseguido nada.
We're trying to create a semblance of governance. In the process, enable people like her, who are these heroes out here in the middle of nowhere and no one knows about it, to do their job. So this is our base. This is our firefighting base here. So it serves as a support point operations in this region. There's one of our firefighters right there. He's a new guy. I haven't met him yet.
It's building such momentum that you don't even know all your guys yet.
No. Yeah, we've nailed it. Yeah, we started the process and we're just steering it. We got this donated by the Grain Reform Institute. Let us use this house as our base, and now we're trying to staff it up, and we can go inside and show you what we got. We don't have much. Okay. It comes down to this equipment here.
Literally.
Yeah, hand tools, and the knowledge that's been put into their head.
John, this is an empty room with 3 desks. There's nothing in here. You're really starting from a baseline of 0.
Yeah, if we were in the business world, in a business school, they'd say you're an idiot. On the other hand, we made an impact in the 5 years we've been doing it that it created a hole in the smoke over the southeastern Amazon that you can see from space. So it worked. And so we want to take that result and say, help us. There's a fire burning right now inside an Indian reservation, and it grew from 8 kilometers now 20 kilometers long. In the United States, you'd have 1,000 firefighters on this with aircraft, with air bombers. Yeah.
The fire is at the Maria Watsede reservation belonging to the Shavanshi tribe, who have a history with John.
I came here, they had checkpoints every 300 meters. The Indians were all painted in war paint, clubs, guns, bows and arrows. And I said, I'm the rancher where you've been killing cows. He bowed his head and said, I'm very sorry. And said, my people are starving. God, I'm the one that's sorry. I'm sorry to come here and be so aggressive, but I don't know what to do. No one's helping me. And he goes, well, no one's helping us either. And I said, well, I'll help you. He's a personal friend, he's a neighbor, and also he's one of the toughest fighters I've ever met. And he's been fighting for his people since he was a little boy.
Durei waitanori paranara barana titirsimuno. Para uja unyara dura simyasi unyara ti isinyara barana tia uso wasa ya tisimuno. Ya awa vina prinwaihu ondi mariwa dusi wa waratedi du. Awa prinyara tu awa Sarina Rayana, ya prinwa to sipte. Sonari ma.
The Alianza Brigade have been called in to contain a blaze that's made headlines by destroying a fifth of the reservation.
This is exactly what we were learning in the training. So that's the fire up ahead. They're actually setting fire to this grass and then putting it out, and it's creating this big area of burned land, effectively getting rid of that fuel, so that if the fire was to come back here, it would have no way to go. So, believe it or not, they're actually setting these fires.
Go, 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 fire's coming.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, your flapper's upside down. Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it? Something that can look so violent and...
Believe the tools you got.
Unbelievable.
Now you can understand how it's doable, you know?
Seriously?
Yeah.
That was frightening. When you talk about an area the size of New York going up in a matter of hours, you really understand it, don't you?
And these are the guys.
These are the guys, look at them. And you can spot the young bloods by their clean gloves.
That's right.
Thank you. Well, thank you, dude. Thank you. Sorry for holding my flapper upside down, but there you go.
Tá bem. No decorrer ele vai pegando a prática.
Yeah, he says it's going to take you a while, but you'll get into the rhythm.
Para iniciante.
Yeah, but for a starter, you did a great job.
É muita força de vontade que ele tem, agarra, mesmo que ele não tenha treinamento, mas você vê que ele tá...
A força de vontade do comando. Então, pra gente iniciar isso, vamos pagar 10 aqui pra nós.
Dois, três, quatro. We joke about it, but we said if you want to bring the Boy Scouts in here to fight major combat, you're going to lose. So in order to come really make a difference and tackle this problem, you have to treat it like a war, and it's an environmental war, and it's eating up the Amazon. But the fact is, this is going to continue. And if you don't give the tools to the landowner to do the right thing, he can't. Not that he doesn't want to, he can't do it.
Eu acho que o aumento da população, que é aceleradamente, né, é sujeito no futuro a haver um contravapor, né? O povo da cidade não planta, né? Só come, né? Mas de que nós temos muito aonde nós andar para que isso não aconteça, que é melhorando a terra onde já está degradada e, enquanto isso, nós estamos preservando a floresta, né?
I know when I fly back to my home in the United States, I still want to have that long 5-hour flight over forest until the day I die. I want my grandkids to have it. And we won't stop till we're guaranteed that that's going to happen.
Do you ever think you like fungus too much?
But you can never like fungus too much.
Don't think that...
Can you?
Cannot like